You are watching our mailbag segment. These are my favorite to do every single week. We go live on Tuesday afternoons, and if you guys want to get featured, you got to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so that when we do go live, you guys can be there in the chat with us, and then join us Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Get your questions in the live chat right there, and you can get a chance to get featured on one of these. Love doing them. Love you guys bringing the heat every single week, and with that, let's get into the first question. Jennifer Glassman, she will start us off saying, hashtag Ravens, who do you think will be the best rookie on the team? I think the best rookie on the team is probably going to be Malachi Starks. I think he's going to have the biggest role. Now, I think he's probably also going to be the rookie that makes the most mistakes, but that's just because he's going to be the guy that plays the most, okay? When Za'Darius Washington went down with that Achilles, that pretty much just took away every kind of wading into the water that was going to be with Malachi Starks. He's just going to dive right in, right off the high dive, okay? 35 feet, he's shaking in his boots, but he's going to make the jump anyway. And I think you're going to see a lot of splash plays, if I'm going to continue in with this analogy, but I also think you're going to see some times where he makes some rookie mistakes, and that's okay. But I think at the end of the year, we're going to say Malachi Starks was the best, but maybe Mike Green has the highest ceiling. Jameer Castro is coming up next. Hashtag Ravens. Should the Ravens add Zidarius Smith to get help on the edge? Jameer, great question. I would love it. I would love to add Zidarius Smith. As of the recording of this video, like I said, Tuesday live show, he has not been signed yet in free agency. And I think he'd be a wonderful addition. I mean, you saw what he was able to do in Detroit, even at his age. He was really, really good with the Lions, okay? And now I'm not saying he's going to come in here and get double-digit sacks or anything like that, but if you make him a rotational edge rusher where every third down, that's pretty much all he does, get in there, get to the passer, I think he could be a guy that really, really gels well with this team, really, really gels well as we've seen like with this franchise, and I think he could be a guy that's really, really great and kind of, helps get that edge with the edge rusher group. Kimberly Harmon's up next. Hashtag Ravens. Do you think King Henry gets over 2,000 or 3,000 rushing yards in the regular season? No and mega no. Okay, he's not going to get over 3,000. I don't think he's going to get over 2,000 just because he got so close last year, and I think this wide receiver core has only gotten better from last year to this one. And I also think like he's getting a little bit older. He's over the age of 32. No running back has ever rushed for 1,400 or more yards at that age. I think he'll get more than 1,400, but 2,000's a lot, okay? 2,000 is like what? I don't feel like doing the math. It's a lot of yards per game, okay? And so I think he's going to be great. Really, really excited to see him play. But 2,000, I don't think that's going to be what he reaches this season. Next up, we got Joey_Aguilar season. We got a Vols Chan in the chat. What's up, Joey? Are the Ravens going to sign Jadeveon Clowney? Similar type discussion, right? Jadeveon Clowney has been in Baltimore before. He's an older edge rusher, and he's a guy that we just saw 2 years ago have like the best season of his career with the Ravens. Now, a lot of that was McDonald, right? We all know what a wonderful masterpiece he was. It's the reason he got the head coaching job in Seattle. But I liked what I saw from Zach Orr, okay? And I believe that this team needs a little bit more help at consistently getting to the passer. And part of that is having more guys they feel that they can throw in there in that rotation, okay? Jadeveon Clowney, I think, would be a really good addition. He didn't have his best season with the Panthers last year. I think a little bit over 5.5 sacks. But at the same time, he played for like the worst defense in the NFL, okay? He's a guy that if Baltimore brings him in, I think that could really, really help get that consistent pressure on the quarterback that we failed to see last year, help cause a little bit more of those turnovers. Be honest with me. What do you think? Should the Ravens sign Jadeveon Clowney? If you think they should, give me a yes in the comment section. And if you don't think so, give me a no, but tell me why not. Hashtag Ravens from Bam Jones. What do you think about TJ Tampa? I think he's going to be a good player. I think it shows me a little bit. Maybe he's not as good as some would hope he was going to be because they went out and got Jair Alexander. Now, they got him at a great price, and I think Baltimore was going to be the only team that got that price. But if they felt the need to go sign a free agent cornerback, it's probably because they didn't believe TJ Tampa was going to be able to give them that great snaps this year. Now, I think, like I've said about a lot of these guys, like I said about Zidarius, like I said about Jadeveon Clowney, I think he's going to be a great rotational piece. Like, I think he's going to be a guy that when he goes out there, it's not going to be obvious. Like, he's not going to be a massive gaping hole and liability for this roster. But at the same time, I think everybody in year 2 was kind of hoping and expecting for him to take a big jump up. And he might be able to do that, but we're not going to see that much of TJ Tampa this year just because the addition of Chidobe Awuzie and Jair Alexander. Abdi Hassan, should EDC sign Amari Cooper for insurance? I don't think so. I feel really, really good about this wide receiver room, and when you think about this Ravens offense and the weapons that they have, you just got to think of the fact that there's one football, okay? Literally, that's it. You can't pass it to everybody all the time. And you already have Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers. You have DeAndre Hopkins, Rashad Bateman, Lamar as a running threat, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill. Like, that's 8 people I didn't even have to think about. Amari Cooper, sure, I wouldn't mind him, but I just don't think it makes much sense because I think they already got enough offensive weapons on that roster. Before we get into more, what could be an offensive weapon for you if you're going out there and trying to look as fly as you possibly can is this Ravens cutoff hoodie, which is $33 right now if you go to chatsports.com/cutoff hoodie. If you like to feel comfortable, feel nice and cozy, but don't like to feel too hot like from a normal hoodie, get the cutoff. It's $22 off, and that offer is not going to last for long. If you love the Ravens, love officially licensed merchandise, and love it at a great price, go over to Fanatics, chatsports.com/cutoff hoodie. That link is in the comments and description of today's video. Next up from Jameer Castro, which Ravens receiver will lead the team in yards? So I'm going to be safe, okay? And I'm going to tell you it's going to be Zay Flowers. That's the angel on my shoulder, okay? But the devil on my shoulder is saying, Joey, it might be Rashad Bateman. And I don't necessarily disagree. Rashad Bateman got almost 800 yards last season, and they just signed with that contract. I think he's only going to have a better season this year. Like, I would not be shocked because of the deep threat that he is and because of how solid his hands are. If at some point in the season we look up, Rashad Bateman's at the top of the leaderboard when it comes to receiving yards. They obviously wanted him around. They paid him to keep him. And I think that by the end of the year, there's a chance Rashad Bateman might be the best receiver we've got on this team. Christian Coveney is up next. How confident are you that the O-line will be able to produce this year? Pretty confident. I'm confident in the fact that the right tackles, or right tackle, left tackle, the tackle situation is one of the best in football. Roger Rosengarten, Ronnie Stanley, it doesn't get much better than that, especially when we saw how good Rosengarten was at the end of the year when he's going off against guys like T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett, and they're not getting not only sacks but even pressures on the quarterback. Center position we feel great about, Tyler Linderbaum. It's those 2 guards that I think are a weakness on this offense. Daniel Fa'alele, I think, is going to take a really big step. He's training with Duke over the offseason. That's a guy who's seen a ton of really, really good offensive linemen. Andrew Voorhees or Ben Cleveland's going to be the position battle to watch out during training camp. And I just want the best player to win. Okay, I don't care if it's Cleveland. I don't care if it's Voorhees. I just want to have confidence at that left guard spot. Darius Williams is next. Do you think we let safeties Bo Braid and Snooky Kane fly, or do we keep them in the nest? I like that question that has a Raven theme to it. Bird-themed questions, only next episode, okay? Write that down. Let's talk about it, though. Bo Braid, Snooky Kane, I think they're going to fly more than they did last season because of 2 reasons. Number one, they're a year older. They aren't rookies anymore. They've spent a full season in the National Football League, whether that's on the roster or on the practice squad. Okay, both those guys got some time in the regular season. And then also, our Darius Washington tore his Achilles about 2 months ago. They have to play more, okay? They have to. You got Malachi Starks in, so they're not going to be a starter. They're not going to compete for that starting spot. But there's going to be a lot of room for them over the next couple weeks of training camp and in the preseason to prove to Zach Orr, to John Harbaugh, like, hey, I can take a lot of these snaps. I can make a really, really, really big impact on defense. Now, who does it out of the 2 of them the most? I think I like Bo Braid a little bit more than Snooky Kane. But still, I think it's any one of those guys that has the ability to go up and be the third, fourth best safety on this roster. It's just going to be up to whichever of them wants it. If you're excited for training camp, let me know by liking today's video. Hit that thumbs up button if you are pumped up that football is finally here. We got preseason soon. That means September is coming close. We've almost made it through the desert, and if you're as excited as I am, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Up next, we got Jacko. Hashtag Ravens, will the imminent Pittsburgh trades for Jennings and Boyd cause Baltimore to go all in and sign Simmons? Maybe. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to trade for Juwan Jennings. I think they're already done. I think Pittsburgh's going to make a move for a wide receiver, but I don't think it's going to happen until the trade deadline. I don't know if that would cause Baltimore to go all in and sign Simmons. I think they should at least be in contact with them. And Justin Simmons has already announced that he wants to play for a contender. So that means Baltimore's at least in the mix. Now, is Baltimore, or is he in Baltimore's mix? I'm not sure about that. But if Pittsburgh trades for Jennings and Boyd, I don't know if that's what would trigger the signing for Simmons. I think they're just kind of worried about their squad, not necessarily worried as much about what Pittsburgh does, although we as fans are probably worried a little bit more about what Pittsburgh does. Attendance squad is next. If the Ravens don't win the Super Bowl this year, what do you think would be the biggest reason? How do you think the team is trying to prevent that? Wow. Fantastic question, attendance squad. If they don't win the Super Bowl this year, it will be because they continue to lose in close games. And we saw that last year. One possession game against the Gardner Minshew Raiders, they couldn't pull it out. One possession game against the Steelers week 11, couldn't pull it out. One possession game against the Jameis Winston Browns, couldn't pull it out. One possession game in the playoffs against the Buffalo Bills. Guess what? Spoiler alert, they couldn't pull that one out either, okay? That has been what has plagued them over the last couple of seasons. And if they don't win the Super Bowl, it's because that continues to plague them. It's because they keep continuing to get in those close games. And in those clutch moments, they can't get it done. Now, how are they trying to prevent that? I think they're going to need to up the turnovers, okay? I think a lot of times you can look back at those games and say, okay, you didn't turn the football over. I think that's going to be a focus of not even trying to let them be in those situations. But I think another thing of that is I think they're going to try to improve Lamar Jackson's ability against man blitzes. He did great against the blitz if the other team was in zone while blitzing, but if they were in man, he struggled, okay? And I think they threw a lot of that in the close games, in those ending fourth quarter situations. I think he struggled a little bit. I think that's going to be a focus in training camp and going into the year. Long answer, but great question. Final one on today's show. Poe is a go. Do you see the Ravens making a trade at the deadline? Yes, if they believe that they are so close and only one missing piece, as in a safety, another safety, or an interior defensive lineman. If there's a really good defensive tackle that's on the trade block, I could see Baltimore being really, really, really interested, okay? If they believe that this is the time for their Super Bowl and they're one missing piece away and they think they can get that guy in a trade, then yes, I could see them making a trade. But if they just kind of rolling and they're a 1 or 2 loss team, we all know this is a team that doesn't love to make moves, then I would not be surprised. Just kind of see them stand pat and not really do anything when that November deadline comes. Don't be shy. Name a player you think the Ravens should trade for. Let me know in the comment section down below. Name a guy I should keep my eye on around the trade deadline. Make sure you got me on social media as well. You can find me at Joey Petersen on Twitter and on Instagram. Both those links in the comments and description of today's video. More than anything, though, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so that way you can get daily content on your Baltimore Ravens.